Hi, my name is Andrea Mitchell, and I am a wellness practitioner. So, what does that mean? Well, I have a lot of modalities under my belt. I started learning Pilates as a certification and going through graduate school for art therapy at the same time back in 2002. And since then, I have done many studies, including energy work, starting with Reiki and then going into intuitive development, Akashic Records, QHHT hypnosis, and really just diving into a connection with myself, my higher self, my intuition, my guides, and different beings around me, and just really learning. Really, I both learning from an energetic standpoint and learning from a book place and learning from other people that I chose to be my teachers. So I developed both my energetic intuitive skills. I also developed my therapy and art therapy, somatic experiencing skills, and at the same time, my Pilates and yoga and movement. So all of these things seem different if you don't understand the connection in the body. But our physical body is such a complex unit, and I love it because of that. And that's where all of my things kind of come from. They're all interconnected in this web of us. And some of it is obviously I study what I'm interested in and where it leads me, but everything always leads back to the same thing, which is just trying to find this connection within this interconnected place that brings together all of these things. So it incorporates the energy, and it incorporates our physical body, and it incorporates creation, whether that be through art or making life and having babies, or science, or whatever it is that you do to create something new. It could even be business, right? Like the act of building something new, that to me is creation. So I think that the blend of all these modalities or these different elements of us creates a whole. And if we can really keep within that whole structure and continue to build within this whole unit, to me, that's how we find a sustainable place of happiness, but also health. And so if we truly can go within with having sort of a balance within all of these elements, I feel not that we will 100% be healthy all the time and never get sick. To me, that's not the truth. I think that our bodies just develop things, but we will have a better sense of knowing our truth and knowing when our bodies or our minds or our spirits are feeling depleted, and then we can sort of interject in that. So how that looks on a physical level would be through building body awareness. So if you're somebody who gravitates towards movement already, then you're going to understand this probably better. But I think anytime we build body awareness through movement, so whether that be yoga or Pilates, which are my go-to, or even if it's strength training or cardio or whatever it is, as long as we're intentionally moving or intentionally building our physical connection, we are building body awareness. And so when you have that, then you know when something is feeling off, right? So on the days that you might show up and it's like, this feels really hard, or my right side really feels like there's something out of balance, you can become more in touch with your physical body through movement. So it builds this body awareness. And so when you have that and something feels off balance, or and maybe there's like a little bit of a discomfort that wasn't there before, then you can better you can sort of figure out or feel when something is happening in your body before it becomes too much, right? So maybe maybe you were wearing new shoes and you were walking on new shoes and you didn't know that was going to be an issue, and then all of a sudden you're in your class or you're in your movement and you're like, something feels off. Then if you didn't have that awareness, then you would your body is smart and it will just keep trying to get away from pain, and so that imbalance will get even more so pronounced, and then it may turn into something like an injury or an imbalance structurally or posturally or something like that. So it's just this, it's like being in touch with ourselves. So to me, that is a technique that we develop. It's not something that we necessarily are born with across, the range. It's a technique that we're developed, and it's a practice that we have to stay with all the time. So again, that's the physical. Now the emotional is the same. It's exactly the same, but obviously using a different modality. So emotional health or emotional wellness, we go about the day to day, and then, little things can creep up. So similar to the postural thing of wearing different shoes, maybe you have like a bad day or a bad interaction, or somebody makes a comment, or, just little things, and then they add up and you don't know that it's affecting you until it gets so much that you just like have a meltdown, or you start like giving up on the things that you actually enjoy doing. Like you're going to skip the workout, or you're not going to go out with your friends, or you're going to stay inside and watch TV all day. Sometimes we need these things just to sort of reset or tune our brains out. But when it becomes repetitive, then over time, it can create things in us like depression, or a lack of wanting to join into things, which I would put under the same, it's a little bit of a depression as well. But there are other things with keeping on top of our mental health is also, we don't want to be, we don't want to burn out. It takes a lot right now in this world to be in a place of sustainability, where just moving, just reminding ourselves that it's okay to check in and do what we want to do, and that we don't need to keep up with social media. We don't need to keep up with other people. Like, we can actually just tune into ourselves. It's the same to me as doing the physical check-ins and the body awareness. We have to have a mental health awareness. Like, what is our standard? What is our baseline? Who are we when we know our energy? We know what our baseline is, right? And then spiritually, I put spiritual check-ins with energetic check-ins. To me, it's the same. So when I say spirit, I think of like our spirit, the soul, and the part of ourself that lives outside of our physical being. So when I say spirit, that's what I'm talking about, is your spirit or my spirit. So to me, it's also the same as energy, obviously, because it's not living within the physical confines of the body, but is living without the body. So, this can go into knowing your energy. And to me, I have many practices that I go to that keeps my spirit or my energetic level balanced. I have a lot of ritual practices, but I also do meditation, different kinds of meditation. I do different kinds of breath work. And all of these things are a daily practice, because again, I need to know that I have a baseline. So I start usually with breath work in the morning, so I clear the slate, and I also end with a meditation at night where I reset my energy. I also have a really complex relationship with the elements of the earth, and it's not complex to me, but it's really complex to describe to others. So it's really just about finding relationship to energy around us and really understanding what fills us up on our spirit. So if you have a connection to writing or reading or things that really fill up your spirit, like going on vacation and traveling, or going to the beach and just sitting there, any of these things are the same thing that I'm talking about. It's like when we feel connected outside of our physical body, and at the same time feel filled up. So that's what I'm talking about. So I believe we need all of these things and not just one. I think that in order to be fully healthy or in balance, we need all of the things. And again, it's not a new practice. It's not a new thought. But it is where I come from. And it is why I do so many modalities, because when I work with people, I do incorporate all of these things, because I think, it's important for me to have an understanding of where somebody's imbalance comes from, so that I know where sort of to move them. And so through any of the modalities that I practice, I incorporate little bits and pieces of each of the others, so they're always pulling and interconnecting. So we might be doing Pilates, but I may also notice that your energy or your spirit is low, and then maybe we can incorporate some of that into the Pilates session somehow, either by doing movement differently or talking about something else, or, there's always ways. So it's a little bit about my practice.